Hi team! Today I'm going to do an unboxing video and I'm really excited. I love watching these on YouTube, but this is my first time recording one. So, recently had a birthday and I got a surprise package in the mail. Ended up being from my dad. He sent me a tarot deck and a really nice velvet bag. And so today we're going to be looking at the Good Tarot. It's all sealed and everything. So this is a Hay House deck, and it's by Colette Baron Reed. I'm going to read the back for you. The classical tarot gets a modern twist in this gorgeous deck rooted in positive psychology and personal transformation. The suits are the four elements: air, water, earth, and fire. And the 78 cards are read as archetypal aspects of the human experience that we may encounter in ourselves or in the world. Unlike most decks, the cards' messages are not forecasts or warnings, but positive affirmations in the now. That's the positive psychology bit, I get it. So you can integrate their energy immediately and personally. Traditional tarot enthusiasts can also use this deck for their favorite spreads. The Good Tarot is especially helpful when you feel lost, are concerned about choices you've made, or seek greater understanding of your circumstances. It's about recognizing the many forms of truth and seeing the light that accompanies the shadow, so you can help the light increase its brilliance. So it says that it's about 25 bucks in the US. And my dad ordered it through Amazon, or I'm sure you could get it direct through Hay House. If you don't follow Hay House on social media or have their emails, I suggest looking into that because they will have BOGO book and deck sales. They just had one that ended earlier in July. But it's a good time where you can pick up a bunch of things for a lot less money. So I'm going to open it. I'm very excited and see what we think. All right, I'm gonna try to use my nail. This is always the struggle part. So if you're new to my channel, what I normally post are readings. I will do a monthly reading, and then I'll do sign specific readings as well. Ooh. There. So it comes in a hard case, obviously. Let's see. Awesome. Blank over here. Starting off with the guidebook. Here on the cards, which we'll get to in a second. So the guidebook has a little bio for Colette Baron Reed, internationally acclaimed intuition expert. She speaks 27 languages. Very cool. It has a different little descriptor of the Good Tarot on the back of this. It came out, this was copyright 2017, so this is fairly new. Says what other things she's done. Okay. So there's a note from Colette in the beginning that's pretty long, so I'm probably not going to read it. Maybe just the last bit, which says, "Let the energy of the Good Tarot light the way forward as you spiral inward on a journey of discovery and emerge from the center with deeper understanding of what you and spirit can co-create together." So already we're kind of sensing a theme of this positive psychology, right, which is emphasizing the lightness, I guess. Honestly, my last really experience with the idea of positive psychology was when I took an intro psych course many years ago. So y'all probably know more about it than I do, but it's definitely worth looking into, and I probably will research that when I'm digging into the cards more. But this idea of co-creation, right, that's a pretty popular theme in the New Age community, right? There are a lot of names for that. But like people who are into manifestation, if that's a buzzword that they are using a lot, co-creation is kind of fitting into that too. So then there's a section called How It Works. It says intention is everything. No two tarot decks are exactly the same, just as no two readers or readings are exactly the same. If you've worked with the tarot before, you might have noticed that certain decks feel different from others when you are doing readings, when you are doing a reading, and your interpretations of the messages can differ greatly when you use one deck rather than another. This deck was created to find solutions, choose directions, and gain understanding of any situation for the highest good of all. So working with it may be an experience unlike any you have had before in doing a tarot reading. The purpose of the Good Tarot is to direct you, the questioner, to the best possible solution that will aid you in healing yourself and consequently the world. Again, it states that there are no negative cards, no dire readings. So if you're familiar with my channel, you might be familiar with some of my practices. I don't believe that there are any bad cards or really any negative or cards, and I think that that's can limit the way that we experience them. Even the devil card, right, which is kind of intense, we'll say. I don't believe it's a bad omen. I believe it actually has a huge blessing of going through into the darker spaces and really exploring that, which takes a lot of bravery. So that seems in alignment. All right, skipping forward, then it goes into the cards and the numbering system, which looks pretty similar. And then it has a little picture, the card name, and a little entry, looks like, for all of the cards. Yep. So we'll go through the cards and then we'll pick some. Maybe we'll do a pick this card or this card, so you get a little personal reading in here and then read what the guidebook has to say. So I'm just gonna pop this out. Ooh, there we go. Perfect. These cards are pretty big. They feel more like an oracle deck size than a tarot card. Like, I can just kind of barely get my whole hand around it. I have to use my entire hand, right? So let's see if I can. Nope, I'm gonna rip this band. No turning back. Okay, so this nice emerald green color is the backs, and the sides are just plain, and it's definitely glossy. So we start with the major arcana in here. The Fool. Oh, I like this. The Magician. Trying to figure out what, like, famous wizard, you know, in popular culture this looks like. I feel like it's definitely pulling something. High Priestess. Ooh, I can hear the cards sort of sticking together and cracking. High Priestess, got the goddess symbol there. So it looks like they're doing, you know, that kind of photo collage, hyper edited feel. I personally don't have a deck like this, so this is new for me, but I know that a lot of decks do that. Empress. I like this numbering system they seem to have going on for the majors, just in the corner here. It doesn't feel, it's integrated into the image, right? Because this is borderless. That's another key thing to point out. It's borderless. So it's integrated into the image, but it doesn't feel hokey. It feels like it still fits the vibe. Emperor. Little anthropomorphized lion. Hierophant. And I'm seeing here, my first inclination is to see the similar setup to the Magician and like the Smith Rider-Waite decks, where there's sort of all the tools laid out. It's not exactly the same, but it definitely has that vibe. To me, this seems like a very active an active Hierophant. And it's cool to see it as a different figure. This is also interesting. Okay, so we're starting to get into slightly different names. This is Love. I might set this one aside just so we can come back to that. The Chariot. Strength. Okay, I just need to do a side-by-side situation here. There are a lot of lions so far in this deck. Someone, you know, and you like it. That's the thing. Oh, sticking together, so a little sticky here. The Hermit. Ooh, just a closed door. Looks like there's a couple keys there. Wonder which one fits, or if any of them fit. The Hermit. This is Fortune's Wheel instead of Wheel of Fortune. Justice. I think that's pretty. Hanged Man. Alright, so instead of the Death card, we have Transformation. I think it'd be interesting to look at the cards that are different in this deck, right? And to see, well, why did they feel like they needed to change that one? Either really changing the imagery or changing the name of what it is to fit this positive psychology, positive affirmation sort of deck. So Transformation, that's the way that I read the Death card pretty much all the time. So it's interesting to just have that in the name. Here's another one that's different. Patience. Temptation. Okay, the Tower. This is the calmest Tower card I've ever seen. Wow. Huh. I'm interested to do readings with this to work with it and get, more acquainted. But I wonder if I'll become a little bit prickly or resentful of like, no, the Tower is allowed to have that disruption, of people being flung, that transformation, right, takes on these forms that are kind of chaotic at times, right? I have this this Danielle Laporte from her Truth Bomb deck. I have one of those cards on an altar of mine, and it says metamorphosis is inherently messy, or I think that's it. And I think of that as the Tower, like change can be messy and intense, and to deny that is to not see the full picture. So I'm not saying there's spiritual bypassing going on here, but I could see myself having a little resistance. Okay, we have the Star and the Moon. I like these illustrations. I think they're really beautiful. They seem almost like, they're not quite an Art Nouveau style, but they kind of have that vibe, I think, with how they're using the figures. Sun. Interesting. Their Judgment here. Call. I think of the Judgment card as a wake-up call, so that is something language I've already been using. So that's interesting to see how that's in alignment with this deck. Then we have the World card. Notice that key that's up there in the sun. Interesting to see like depictions of space in this style. So those are the majors. Okay, then we go right into air. Okay, so we have the page, but then the next card is the messenger of air. I think this next one is really fun. The Queen of Air. And then the King of Air with that mask on. Is that a window in his chest? No. I like that idea though. So page, then messenger instead of knight. Queen, king. Oh, exquisite. Look at this ace with that Pegasus. I was eating something the other day and the kind of leftover, or like I had taken a bite and what was left over looked like Pegasus. And so I texted some people and I was like, do you see it? Like, what does that mean? Apparently, Ace of Air, that's the associated energy. Two of Air. Am I stuck? Oh, yep. Three. Okay, so they're doing, the birds are what's there instead of the swords, I guess. Four of Air. Five. I really like this next one, the Six of Air. I think the Six of Air, it feels the most resonant to me so far of this suit. Like, okay, we're moving, we're having that change of mind, and this ship is in the air, which is kind of a beautiful thing. Get closer so you can see. And to have seagulls is like seabirds, you know. This is the Seven. For me, the Five and Seven of Swords are kind of tricky cards. Like, they've historically tripped me up. Excuse me. And so to see them now and to see this depiction, it's really taking like time to alter it, right? Because those are cards that I have not necessarily a negative association with, but an association that is more complicated, right? Not just like, I'm not saying this is one note, but not necessarily positive. So it's interesting to see them here. I love this 8. Almost done with these. This is 9. And this is 10. What a release on this card. So it looks like the different suits really have different color schemes. So we had all of this blue energy with the air cards, and then it's more greens and warmer tones for the air. Page of Fire. Oh, I love this one. And then the Messenger of Fire. The figure kind of looks like they're wearing a Santa Lucia crown, and I like that imagery of like bringing the light. It's a festival that's in winter, in mid-December, and it's about bringing the light forward. And Saint Lucy is the patron saint of eyesight. And so there's about, for me, it's about like inner seeing, and trusting your intuition. Queen of Fire. It seems like for the kings, they always have a mask, which is very interesting. I wonder what they're getting at there. Ace of Fire with this lantern. Giraffe. little pod. I don't have many other decks that use different language for the suits. Oops, stuck together here. For a fire. And so that's kind of interesting. Like I have different decks that are pretty elemental, but not necessarily are they just totally saying, okay, we're not going to use wands, we're going to use fire instead. I feel like there are a lot of decks out there that do that, but just haven't had them in my collection. The panda. See, to me, this gives me a totally different vibe than the Eight of Wands, than I would read traditionally the Eight of Wands, which would be this influx of energy, this excitement, this like rapid pace, you know? And this seems like a slower, more wonder, amazement, intrigue. Let's maybe just see what they have to say about it. Okay. So to start off each thing, they give a little overview of what the suit is. So fire, intention into action. The energy of intention and inspired action creates life as spirit works through me. In traditional tarot, this suit is called Wands and is the suit of transformation, creativity, initiative, and regeneration. In the good tarot, we relate the suit of fire to the way we act, the results of our actions, and where our intentions could lead us if we act in accordance with them. Nice. So let's go to the Eight of Fire. It says, so they give a quick, just like keywords up here, and that says gathering momentum, celebrating swift changes, travel, and transformation. And then it reads, momentum is building as the power of spirit serves to power this transformation. I am traveling to new territories, and I am eager to experience all that these lands have to offer. I have arrived at my destination, and now the adventure of discovery is energizing me. Okay, so they're saying this is already the arrival. So the arrival instead of the process of getting there, which is kind of interesting because it aligns with some belief systems around like manifestation and that kind of stuff. I'm thinking, you know, there are particular New Age movements where you are doing an affirmative prayer, right? Praying as if it's already happened and living in that moment. So this Eight of Wands showing us that we are already there and then the new exciting land is in alignment. I'm seeing it as being in alignment with that principle of prayer, and probably in the kind of, obviously, the lessons of this deck. I have the 9 and the 10. Oh my god, you're gonna like the 10, I think. Burn those letters. Burn them. Right? Releasing that phrase, killing your children, which is a metaphor, obviously, and is about releasing ideas. Even though you love them, they're not quite the right fit, right? 10's always showing us the cycle. Do I want to continue? Do I want to start anew? And what are you willing to let go in order to step forward into what's in alignment? Love this. Fire ceremonies. Oh, this is great. Okay, so that was the fire suit. Next we go into water, and it has a very similar color palette to the air. Page of Water. It's like a mer person. They have like a tail, a fin. Ooh. The Knight, or Messenger of Water. Communicating directly with a seahorse there. Let's look that one up. Let's see what they say about this one. So water is going to be cups, right? The suit of emotion. So it says in its little keywords, romantic attraction, chivalry, admiration, seeing the best in others, heightened emotional awareness, a call to fall in love with yourself. And then it says, I need to look for the best in others and honor it, even when it seems a challenge to do so. Okay, so in this suit, or in this part of the book, they are in italics, and it's more affirmations than what we read previously for the fire suit. My attractions stem from self-love and a knowledge that I am a part of all love, which takes many forms, each exquisite in its own way. I can have what I desire. There is no need for jealousy, anger, resentment, or fear when I am love, and love flows into me powerfully. This is really interesting that it's taking the form of affirmations, especially when it's in the suit of the emotions. It seems really powerful, and a good way to direct this. So there were 3 affirmations for this card, and it looks like they do multiple affirmations for each card in the water suit. So you could find one that fits most. You could use that as a mantra. If you're reading for yourself, this could really be a part of your spiritual practice. This does seem like a deck that's really well suited for self-reflection. Okay, there's the Queen. Ooh, they're sticking together. This is the King. It looks like Poseidon. Not seeing a mask on him though. There goes my theory. Okay, starting with the Ace. Love this. Did you know that the male seahorse is the one that carries the eggs? That's a fun fact. 2 of water. 3 of water. I'm a water sign, so I think it makes sense that I'm really responding to these a little bit more. This is an interesting one. 4 of cups, or 4 of water, excuse me. I talk a lot about what I see as kind of intense readings of this card that aren't exactly helpful, right? That you are ignoring opportunities that you could be taking, all that kind of like victim blaming, like self-flagellation kind of stuff that doesn't help us. Instead of reading it as, hey, I need to process something right now, and when I'm ready and available, the opportunity will be there, right? You cannot miss what's meant for you. That's Lindsay Mack's quote right there. So interesting to see this 4 of water and their depiction, their positive depiction of this card. 5 of water. Ooh, this next card's really beautiful. 6 of water. See a reflection there too at the bottom. I will say something I'm noticing as I'm going through this is there is not racial diversity in the imagery. It's something that bothers me a lot in the decks that I've seen and have worked with. 8 of water. Beautiful. Love this. Yeah. Saying goodbye to one thing in order to, take on the treasures. Decision making around what's best for you. Really knowing what you need. But back to that. Not necessarily a lot of racial diversity. A lot of light-skinned people here, which is what it is. But I personally like decks that make an effort to show racial diversity, gender diversity, diversity in all kinds of ways. Here's a Buddha. That's a surprise. Don't know what to make of that. But sitting with it. 10 of water. So that's the water suit. Beautiful teal color. And then we're going to end with Earth. My phone ran out of space. So here we are again. Just a quick little bit left. So we are in Pentacles or Earth. So we have the Page of Earth. like that person's outfit. Still sticking. The Messenger of Earth. Queen of Earth. I think this king has mushrooms on his face. King of Earth. So I thought they were all wearing masks, but they're not. Ace of Earth. The pentacles have a symbol on them, which I know is something. I don't know if it's Celtic or not, but it's the 3 that swirl. Let's see if I can get a good view for you. You'll see it lots of times. The 4 of Earth. Kind of like this person's facial expression. Yeah, you can see the symbol really well on this one. 5 of Earth. So I know that's something, but I don't know where I know it from. 6 of Earth. So a lot of woodland creatures in here. 7. Ooh, we have some fairies. Excuse the reflection. Some fairies there. I think you can actually see it better when I hold it back here. Almost done. It's the 9 and the 10. It's really calm, grounded energy here. Great. So I am going to shuffle these. You can see how they shuffle, and then we'll do a pick a card. So I'm probably just going to do this overhand shuffle. Ooh. They are slick. Yeah, they're definitely bigger cards than I normally work with, so they're a little bit awkward for me to hold. But if you're used to working with oracle cards, you probably wouldn't have any problem. Okay, stick this one back in there. I like them. They feel pretty nice. I do think that they're going to continue to stick together for a little while, but once broken in, I think that they'll move a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 cards here. So go ahead and take a deep breath with me. Breathe in, breathe out. Great. And go ahead and pick card A or B. A or B. Okay. A is the sun. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the sun. Good, I'm glad we get to read about a major arcana. If I can find it, there we go. Okay, so in the book, it has a longer name. So it says sun, and then it says abundance. So this message is for you if you picked card A. At this time, everything is possible, and everything I need to know is illuminated. Projects come to fruition, relationships flourish, and my growth is assured. This is a time of plenty. It's important that I share this abundance with others. I am deeply grateful. So it's following that affirmation format, but it's not using quotes like it did in the water suit. So that's your message today about abundance. Love those beautiful sunflowers. And the focus on needing to spread that abundance. Very good. All right. If you picked card B, you picked another major, the Hanged Man. Great. Let's see. Ooh. The Hanged Man / surrender. Sacrifice and surrender are necessary at times like this. Nothing in life is free, nor does everything happen according to my timetable. When this card appears, I'm reminded that a delay is in my best interest. That until all the elements are in place, I'm meant to surrender to the greater will, for the highest good of all. Time for me to let go of my attachment to how I thought things had to be. I am called to surrender and wait to see how things play out. And wait to see how things to play out. There's a typo. I like this idea that it's a reminder, right? That if a delay is happening, it's because it needs to happen so that something else can happen, right? I think that can help us accept things a little more. Like sometimes High Priestess energy can be difficult because we don't know what's coming forward. But if we can trust that it is in the highest good for us and for the collective, right? There is that focus in this deck on what's good for us and what's good for the community and our world and extra world, outside. To know that all of those things are in alignment and whatever is happening is going to bring us towards that situation. I think it doesn't necessarily affirm that, hey, if things suck right now, that it totally makes sense that you would feel that way. So I think for me, working with this deck, I'm going to have a slightly more, what I'd say is balanced approach, where I have to honor the negative feeling and to say, hey, it's totally okay that you feel that way. And here's another perspective, right? Because to avoid spiritual bypassing, which maybe I'll record a video specifically on, but is a really great concept to look into. It's that pushing past any negative feelings, immediately thinking like, it's all great. It's all happening for the best, Those are great thoughts, but it can be detrimental to ourselves if we don't sit with the idea that there is discomfort that we're feeling, and that's okay. We shouldn't shame ourselves for having negative feelings. So I think if you hold that principle in mind, that would be my advice, working with this deck and saying, yes, I'm going to have a balanced approach. This is going to help balance me out. If I'm someone who is, really focused on the tough parts and needs a reframe, then this is going to be a good go-to deck for you. So this is the Good Tarot by Colette Baron-Reid, Hay House Publishing, 2017. Thank you so much for watching today and joining me on my first unboxing. Stay in touch if you want to. Subscribe to my channel if you're interested in those monthly and then more regular readings. And I also do private readings. You can reach out to me through Instagram, and I will link that in my bio. Appreciate you all. I hope that you're doing well. Care about you. Talk soon.